We are once again on a Bullfrog Saturday morning, Coach. Congratulations on the win last night. Let's just jump into it.
Well, first of all, praise God. It was an exciting time. We had our military appreciation night, and being the first time we've done that, I really thought it was a success. Had a lot of people come out, and that was for our active military and retired vets, and I really appreciate Bobby Stoltz and John M. Shaw working and help create all that, and you for helping get the some honorary captains out there. That was really a lot of help needed, and I thought it was a very good success. Matter of fact, my neighbor Peter Drolet came and took part in it. So just a great night, great atmosphere. I appreciate Coach Hewlett and Springtown taking a part in it, because anytime you change your pregame. What you've been doing for the last 5 weeks in your pregame organization, we had to change it a little bit. Dana Bowman, Sergeant Dana Bowman came over, did the parachute, brought the game ball in. Just a great touch to it. Both teams went out and held the flag for the national anthem. The officials did a good job of rearranging their pregame. So I thought it was a great night for football. Great weather, great atmosphere with the military appreciation. I thought the whole pregame went off in a bang. I really did. And you're down there on the field with your iPad videotaping. Or not videotaping, but live streaming, Dana bringing the ball in. I just thought it was a great start to a great night, and of course our kids played well. They stayed focused throughout the whole ordeal. Coming into the game, we knew that Springtown is a good football team. Coach Hewlett and his staff do a great job over there, and they're going to play hard. And the thing we knew that we had to finish, and when you start that game and you come out a lot of excitement and so forth, it's 48 minutes to play, lifetime to remember, and we had to finish. And I thought our kids did a good job last night of finishing the ball game.
Most definitely. Going in the scout report going into last night's game, you knew this, coaches knew this, I knew this. I think everybody knows this. Springtown wasn't the biggest they've been, but they are still that scrappy program, very disciplined program in the way that they play ball, and they don't give up. Last night you saw that Matthew Locker, kind of their catalyst, their offense, him and the quarterback, and you saw they fought to the very end, but just so happened to be the Bullfrogs now have a culture where they fight through the end as well.
Coach Hewlett's been there 8 years. I really didn't know all that prior to us being in their district, but Coach Hewlett's been there 8 years, and it's just an atmosphere and a culture he's created. My brother Jack recruits this area, and there's a lot of good programs up here, but one of them that to Jack is a model program. If you're going to build your high school program around it, is Springtown. When the bell rings, our kids hustle out to the field house. They get dressed. They hustle out to where they're going to go work out. The coaches are hustling. The players are hustling. There's no lackadaisical attitude. Everyone's hustling. And to be a part of that program and to fit in, that's what you've got to be. And he's got that going on over there. And anytime, I tell our kids all the time, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. Those kids work hard. The coaches work hard. The kids work hard. And whether you're up by 21 or losing by 21, they're going to fight you. They're going to play hard. They're going to get after your butts. And to beat a quality program like we did last night really feels good.
Yes, it does. It felt fantastic. Speaking of fighting hard, I think both crowds were fighting hard to out-cheer one another. You could hear Springtown, could hear Lake Worth, and just give a shout-out and appreciate everyone that came out to that game last night for both teams. I know our Booster Club concession stand was pretty much out of everything at the end of the night, kind of sold out of.
Hey, we'd like to hear that, don't we?
Yeah, we do like to hear that for sure. But let's jump right into that. Let's run through that first half real quick. The first half ended, won the first half 14-7. But I think, as I always say, the scoreboard really doesn't tell the story, especially in that first half. Let's jump into that interception down by the end zone. Bullfrogs, we came out early, scored defense early first.
First of all, we came out. I lost the coin toss, and he took the ball. He deferred the second half, so I had to take the ball, which he took the wind. And the wind wasn't that big of a factor last night, except for maybe your kicking game. We started a new punter last night, and Raul Alvarez. He's got a great leg. Kid's got a leg that's so lively. Just having to work on some technique with him, and he did a very, very good job early. He did have one later on that the wind kind of caught and put that ball out of play. But we came out the very first drive and had to punt. had a big time stop, and Pulte had the interception there and a big return for a touchdown. Anytime that's big. I mean, that's just a momentum changer. You're on offense, you throw an interception, and it gets run back that far for a touchdown. That really kind of puts a damper on things, and did that. But we fought hard. Offensively, we couldn't get a lot going. They're tough defensively. They play that 3-3 stack, and they do some shifting and moving and get to a 4-man front. Play the they play basically 5 defensive backs. And it's a little bit different look than what you're used to. So it caused some problems early. But the interception for a touchdown, I thought our special teams really held us in the ball game there early, going in at halftime 14-7, like you said. But I tell the kids all the time, if you're playing for that scoreboard, you're playing wrong. The scoreboard will take care of itself at the end of the ball game. It's the work you put in prior to. It's all the things that go into it, and that scoreboard takes care of itself. And so yeah, it felt good to be up 14-7, but they were playing us hard defensively. In other words, our offense wasn't getting a lot going there early. Our defense held us in the ball game, and our special teams held us in the ball game. I thought, Joey, first half.
Yeah, I definitely thought. The special teams held us in the game the first half, but continued to carry through the second half. And Raul Alvarez, he said, being a new punter out there punting, I thought the kid had a leg for days, especially with the wind at his back. I mean, going into the wind, you saw that. I was a punter myself, and so you always hate to punt into the wind just because, that ball can get up and do anything. But moving on from that first half of play, there was a long conversation before going into the locker room at halftime. It's so long that the band was coming out and you guys were still having a conversation on the sideline. Without disclosing everything there, what was the mindset there going into the locker room at halftime?
Who's hitting harder? My bottom line is who's hitting harder. 5 times during the first half, I had to go out to the field and help get our kids off the field. And Springtown had 0. So who's hitting harder, us or them? And that's my point. I thought their quarterback is a big, tough kid. He's only a sophomore. It's Coach Hewlett's son. There's times that they ran some zone options with him, and he kept the ball and hurt us on some good runs. At the same time, there were some times that we had him for a 1 or 2 yard gain, and he drug us 5, 6, 7 yards. So my conversation, who's hitting harder, us or them? Because I've had to go out on the field now 5 times to get us off the field because of injuries, and they've had 0. So that's my conversation.
Well, that's good to know. Good little insight there for everybody tuning in. And then so we come out in the second half. In the second half, we're having to kick the ball, but we're able to again grab the pendulum and swing it our way early on.
We did, and I thought Coach Raines and the offensive staff, of course, both staffs, I can't give kudos enough to both staffs. Coach Raines and McAnally and their staff did a great job. Offensively, defensive, special teams, I'm really excited about where we're at right now. But getting back to what I was saying, I thought they made some very, very good halftime adjustments in that first drive there. We hit Brandon Moore out of the backfield for that wheel route and touchdown, and that's a big change for us. That bet us up 21-7. They came out and went and scored, missed the extra point. We partially blocked it there, which I thought was big. That helped us. And then we had another major turnaround there, and that helped take the breath out of them. So the halftime adjustment offensively, we went down and scored that pass. The special teams, again, defensive got to stop. After the touchdown run, we had that kickoff return. It really gashed them. Just some good things there. Junior had an interception second half. I think we had 4 interceptions last night total, and that was big. We just kept the momentum on our side.
100%. That's where you could see. I'm a white knuckle kind of guy. Squeeze my chair just every end of the play, no matter if you're ahead or not. And last night, early on in the first half, it was super white knuckles going for me going into the second half, just because I'm just a tense guy. In the second half, when we started to pull away there, we started pulling out the envelope and looking at it, getting ready to put a stamp on it, and kind of send this one in the mail. But you guys knew. Even up to the fourth quarter, even up until we were within 5 minutes of the game being over, you guys knew that the possibilities of Springtown trying to strike back was there.
Very much so. They kept hitting us in the outside zone there, which hurt us. Now coming back and watching the film, we see the corrections we have to make, and we already talked about that as a staff, and we're making it this week for Decatur. But I thought Damian Moore had a big night last night. Started motioning them out of the backfield, which made their safeties and linebackers move, which was good. We hit them on that route. Then we started motioning them out. And I ran the quarterback. Quarterback Isaiah got a touchdown run there, which was good. But at the same time, we started doing some sprint draws. He had a 175-yard touchdown run there early in the fourth quarter, and then we kind of got the momentum going there again. We got up by a couple scores. We blocked an extra point. They missed an extra point, but that made it a 2-score game, which was very good. And then whenever Damian hit that 75-yard touchdown run, that helped. And then we came back later and ran the sprint draw again. He scored again. So those 2 runs by Damian were very, very momentum swingers in our part. And that's when I knew it was at a touch for him.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I think last night, if I have to look back at the numbers, I think that was Damian Moore's. I think he had a kind of a highlight night for him last night. I think 3 touchdowns. Multifaceted run and catch. You know, when you guys flexed him out on that one motion and he was left all alone, Springtown had to make an immediate adjustment, and that played very well for us. As had to draw that, they were bringing a linebacker out to follow him out after that, and it kind of made some room for some different things. So we got to see Isaiah Hall work quite a bit more, be able to pull down and try to wiggle through the line there and get some stuff going there. But so we're going to jump over to one of the other coordinators, but before we do that, last night, something that you don't see a lot, and I want to give you guys kudos, and same thing to Springtown, is guys that are getting ready to face off in battle come together for the cause, fold a flag together, wave a flag together, come out there on the field and work together as 2 teams that are getting ready to go against each other. I thought that was phenomenal by both teams.
Like I said a while ago, I really appreciate Coach Hewlett and his mentality and working with us on that deal. I thought it was great. And you know, Joshua they brought in the Dana Bowman at their game. They had different people holding that flag. I just thought it was important for our football players to take part in that. It's a big deal, Joy. And you as a veteran and our active people right now, all week I talked about this to the kids, and I talked about it after the game last night. We have our freedoms because of people that fought for us. My older brother, Gary, was in Vietnam, the Vietnam War. And I praise God for the freedoms we have. We're able to play football on Friday nights. We're able to come out here this morning and practice and sit up here and coach football. We're able to go to the church we want to go to. I'm able to take my family to a football game this afternoon. I'm able to take my family out to eat where I want to go eat because of the freedoms we've been given by our veterans. And we wanted to pay tribute to those folks. And I thought it was very important for our football teams to take part in that. I thought both teams did a good job. All the kids did a good job last night, and I was very, very appreciative of that.
Yes, 100%. Well, Coach, we're going to get over here to one of these coordinators, and then we'll see you back here in just a few minutes. I think you want to rock that head a little bit.
Dang right.
Get it done, boys. Well, Coach, we're sitting here again, like I said, with Coach Welch. This is another Bullfrog Saturday morning. And I tell you what, I was emotional several times last night. My wife probably had to ask me if I was going through something, but I really was. Because last night, I mean, hats off to you guys, to the coaches, and then and the kids, how they've played, man. That defense last night. Something to be said a little bit about some Bullfrog defense.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, how about that defense? Now, they kids are playing well. Man, we come out, thought we had a really good game plan. And, of course, as I told you last week, they're good coaches. I mean, that's a high-quality coaching staff over there in Springtown. And I knew they were going to throw some new stuff, some kind of wrinkles at you. You can go back and look at the film. Every week they come out with a new formation, some new plays, some new wrinkles. I knew they would do that, and we were ready for nearly all of them. They got us on one. They got us hit us on a play there in the first half, and but overall, what a great night. I mean, we ran to the football. We created turnovers, and just we did our job. And 19 points against that good. I mean, man, they can throw so many things at you, and the kitchen sink. We're really proud of our kids, man. They just played hard from start to finish. Never slowed down. And we had to we subbed some people in. We had some people getting a bang up or getting tired or whatever. And boy, some of our number twos stepped in, and they were just as good and powerful as the number ones. And things like that just make you feel good as a coach. I'm proud for the kids. Man, that's big.
That's real big. You say throwing the kitchen sink. I think they try to throw the neighbor's kitchen sink and everybody's kitchen sink. Last night it was interesting, I thought, for the defense, and I know you guys prepared for it, but you don't see it very often. Maybe it's just at our level here, but they were doing a lot of reading, either with a handoff, a bubble, and even the quarterback was reading the outside receiver, whether or not he was covered or not, whether he was going to throw the bubble or he was going to try to throw deep, one or the other. And I thought that the DBs did a fantastic job there last night.
The big word nowadays, you'll see it in NFL, you see it all the time in NCAA, is the RPO, run pass option, and they are a RPO team. I would say 60% of all of their passes are RPOs, which make it extremely difficult on your linebackers, because as a linebacker, you're reading the offensive line, and here they come out at you, coming to run block you. And so you step up, and then they want to throw the ball right behind you. And so it's a great concept, and shoot, sometimes those offensive linemen of Springtown, they were 4, 5, 6 yards downfield, and the ball's still being thrown, which is a penalty. But it's hard for the officials to see, because they've got so many other things to look at. And it's I think Art Briles, when he was at Baylor, really made that. It'd been around for years. It's more than a play action pass, and that's what people always say. Oh, it's just a play action pass. No, it's different, because he can run it or throw it, and the offensive linemen, they don't know what's happening behind them. They're blocking the run play, and then the quarterback's making the read. He's either going to give it, or he's going to pull it and throw the bubble or the slant, like you said, or the bubble and the go. And our DBs played outstanding last night. Coach Steffenmeyer, Coach Stedoronsky, they did a really good job of preparing those guys. We had a good game plan for it. When you get you watch it, that RPO stuff is tough. It's tough, but we held our own.
Yeah, looking at that, I was Demarion Pulte the other night. We're at the house, and he's laying on the bed, and he's got a guy's laptop out, and I said, "Well, you trying to finish up on some homework?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I'm watching this film right here because I'm trying to get me a pick." And they played that well. I know the boys were looking at it, and they saw a lot on film that whenever the quarterback threw it, even if he was throwing it out of play, chase it down, because a lot of time he left it up there hanging. We saw Demarion Pulte catch a nice interception over the shoulder,
yes,
and then run that back. And I think he shocked our crowd, as long with Springtown, with the speed that he carries with those legs.
And that interception early in the game, boy, that was a tone setter for us, for the whole team. Pick six put us up 7-0. Just right there, that showed them, hey, we're here and we mean business. Craig Williams did an outstanding job on that play. He's not going to get any credit other than this, but the number 2 receiver came out, and Craig eliminated him and took the number 2 receiver out of play. And so as the quarterback rolls out, he's looking, and there's the receivers on the ground. Did his job to the T, and then he's getting pressure, of course. We've got a couple of defensive ends that can play with anybody.
My goodness.
And so he's pressured, and he throws that ball up, and he doesn't see. He's looking at his receiver coming across, and he sees the DB on him. He never sees, because Pulte, it doesn't have anyone to cover, because number 2 receiver's on the ground. Pulte's just sitting there and just steps right in front of it. It's a thing of beauty.
Yes, it was awesome to see that happen last night. And I truly agree with you. I think everybody does. That was a big tone setter for the defense, for the game, period. And you knew right then, a lot of people said, oh, well, people would say this and that and the fourth. But the big thing that was the mood going into last night from most outside sources was it's going to be a little bit of a chess match. Who was gonna fight to the end, and whose defense was gonna step up? And I thought you guys did a great job, especially there early on. Now hold them to 7 points in the first quarter. The Bullfrog defense on a season average right now, I think is at 15 allowed. I think something like that per game. That's saying a lot by itself.
It is against that offense. It certainly is. The number one. He's their everything. At free safety and at running back, and we kept him in check in the first half. Second half, he got out a few times. Him and 32, but sometimes you give up something to get something, and we gave up a couple things. But the thing, you think about. I don't even know. I think it was third quarter, fourth quarter. They drive, but we never gave up. We're always getting the tackle, getting them, get back in the huddle, and then we get pressure on them to try to throw the ball, get pressure, and make the interception in the back of the end zone. I mean, it's just little things like that. We stopped them down here coming out early. They were fourth and 1.5 from the -9 yard line, and they believed that they could. I guess they thought they could bully us up the middle, and didn't work out for them.
I've watched Springtown growing up. I actually went to Springtown in the 6th grade, and the culture that's there now very much rings through to still being a base of the culture now. And there's a lot of discipline there. A lot of the athletic program is the structure out there for disciplinary action and that kind of sort of thing. You could see how disciplined the kids played. I mean, they fought it out through and through. From their offensive side, they had some linemen that can move around, and there's a lot of strength there from their side.
Number 77, their left guard, is an outstanding offensive lineman. He can play for anybody. He's a good, hard-nosed, just push the line kind of guy, push the envelope kind of guy too. Plays super hard. But back to our kids, they played tough all night long. Never gave up. I couldn't be more proud of the effort. Inside at linebacker, Donnie Reese had another fantastic game. Had a couple tackles for loss. Ran to the ball well. And Diego Valenzuela and Trey Stevens, both of those guys had good nights. Trey came in. I don't know how many tackles he had, but
I counted bang bang 3 right off the bat.
Yeah, that guy came in, and he's a good football player, fresh legs. And he's got deceptive speed. And, boy, it made a big difference. And, he played a fantastic game. Once again, our defensive ends, Xase Bakula and Brian Neal, my goodness, they can make plays anywhere on the field. On the first drive, one of them made a tackle on a swing pass, and the other one made a tackle. Just a true hustle play. Quarterback got loose on an inside run, and he had a 34-yard run, and he was tackled by the defensive end. And that's just pure hustle. That's pure hustle, and that's what makes your football team.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes your football team, running the football, and these guys are hustling, and so reaping the rewards. Just got to keep it up.
Oh yeah, playing really, the old term we use, I don't know, y'all may still use now, is heads up football. Mm-hmm. And keeping that up. And speaking of heads up football, I think last night, junior session, his first career interception last night. I won't hear the end of that for forever.
Yeah, maybe 2035, maybe.
He's going to be telling the story over and over.
Oh, I guarantee you. It was great. I was so proud for Junior. There's no, 1,000 of plays he's played for us on defense since he's a freshman. Just, super solid. Always where he needs to be, and just has never gotten the break of my goodness. You know what though? It it may open the floodgates now, but couldn't just, these guys are playing good. It's fun. They're having fun. We're having fun, and just having a good time.
I was just about to say that same thing. You can tell they're having a ball out there.
Yep.
And last night, I think Coach Welch handles the special teams stuff last night, but special teams, especially kickoff, I still look at it as a defensive piece of the team. And so last night, I know late in the game when we scored and we kicked off, and Polito just using every bit of that wind and kicks it out of the end zone. When you see the entire kickoff team run through the end zone to chase that ball down, it's just kind of waving at the other team saying, we still got gas in the tank, baby. Let's keep it going.
That's it. That's big. We've challenged our kickoff team to do that, to be tone setters. We gave up one against Venus, I guess. I think it was, and shouldn't have. Or I don't even. Yeah. They all start to run together, but we gave up one earlier in the season that we shouldn't have, and we've really refocused, and the kids are doing it. Proud of them, boy. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, well, we're gonna. You got any last words for the defensive side?
From the defensive side, thank goodness for the offense. That's what I say. They played a fantastic game last night. They controlled the football, controlled the clock, and I tell you what, as a defensive coordinator, the less snaps you have to defend, the better.
Yeah.
And especially against these high-powered offenses, and they controlled it, ran the football. It's fun when you're a defensive coordinator and you're standing on the sidelines. That's the best. You can't mess up any call when you're standing on the sideline watching the offense. My hands are sore from just clapping for the offense. I'm gonna tell you.
I tell you, if you guys get a chance to listen back to the broadcast, you'll hear at one point in time I'm apologizing to the defense, and I'm like, I was saying the defense had been out there a lot, and it's not because we're not putting points on the board, it's just because the offense is scoring so quick. Turn back around, Damian Moore scores 80 yards. I'm like, sorry, defense, it's time to go back to work. Go back to work.
We're never too tired. I guarantee you, if they score a touchdown, it's not too tired.
That was good. It was fun.
Those one-play drives, you're like,
time to go back to work.
Hey, but we got 7 more points. And that's like that pick six Pulte had. I looked at those guys. I said, guys, hey, that's great and all, but we got to go back on the field. It got to stop, and there went the offense. So, yeah. So,
awesome, Coach. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks,
congrats.
Joey.
Good morning, Joey. Good morning.
It's a great morning, isn't it?
It is a great Bullfrog morning. I mean, there's a lot to be said about last night, a ton to be said about last night.
No doubt.
But, hey, and I always go, I know you guys always, give it down to the kids, but I have to tell you guys, congratulations last night on just coaching staff, doing amazing things with these kids, and last night was an exciting time. It's been an exciting season to be a Bullfrog. Let's jump into that offense.
Yeah, yes, it is. Am I on right here? Does it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yes, it is, Joey. That was a total team victory right there. I think we beat them last night on offense. We beat them on defense, beat them in special teams. And, that starts at the top with Coach Welch and his program bringing it in here. And the second part of that's the kids buying in and doing what we ask them to do. There's not a whole lot of arguing or anything. They trust in us, and we trust in them, and we go out and play football and have fun. Getting down to offense, it was fun last night. We knew they were going to be a tough defense. They do some things that don't fit well with our system, and so we knew we were going to have to manufacture some first downs and get the ball down the field, and I thought the kids did a good job of that, staying on their blocks and working it down through their first half. There's a little rough. What was the score at halftime? 14-7?
14-7.
Yeah, so, and defense had 7 of those points, so 7-7 ball game really without that interception return. And so coming in at halftime, we were getting what we thought we were going to see. Came out the second half and made just a few adjustments. The kids bought into that and paid attention in our meeting at halftime there, and came out and scored 7 quick points off of a wheel route out to Damian Moore out there. And then we had the win the third quarter. I think we came back and scored another one pretty quick too. Made it 28-7 real quick, and so that was big in putting that game away, because I think their heads dropped a little bit after that. So. Oh yeah,
that turn there. in the second half, in the first half, really honestly, and I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of a little bit of a white knuckle type person, like just squeezing, holding on, like I know we can do it, but 14-7 is not comfortable at all. And I really thought, just looking from a bird's eye view, that we probably could have gotten out of the first half closer to 28-7, maybe possibly 28-0. There's a couple things there that we missed on.
There was one, and I told the kids before we ever went out in the ball game that we're going to have some adversity on our side, and how we react to it is how we're going to play in the ball game.
Amen.
And we were down in the red zone, just right over here, matter of fact, and threw an interception, on a special play that we had, and probably could have made a better decision on that play. But you know what? The defense stopped them in 4 downs. They went for it on 4th and 1 from the 15 or something yard line, gave the ball right back to us, and we punched it in. So we got those 7 points back from that turnover there. So we felt comfortable with that because the kids didn't get their heads down, and they didn't quit or anything just because of that one mistake. So
yeah, you love to see every coach's dream is to be able to have learning moments and adversity moments that you can immediately overcome in a game, and that's exactly what happened.
And still win.
Defense came in and said, "Hey, Coach Raines, we're going to put you guys back on the field.
There you go.
Now punch it in this time," and that's exactly what happened.
And they did a great job with that too, because they had ran the quarterback sneak earlier and got 3 or 4 yards on it, and got a first down. So I think they thought comfortable and that they could get it again, and no, it didn't happen. So
that's right. And so the first half, like you said, from the offensive standpoint of view, was 7-7, and then in the second half, that was a little bit different.
Yes, it was. So we came out and we hit that wheel pass on the first one. I think we ended up with a kickoff return in between there some. I probably missed another one. Fourth quarter, we're trying to run the ball, put the game away, and sure enough, first or second down there, Damian Moore got loose twice, and both of them were about 75, 80 yards out. I hadn't seen the exact yardage on it yet. So, but it's 2 different plays. One of them was a dart play, what we call dart play. The tackle's pulling around and blocking him, and he hit that little seam right up through there and got in the secondary, and they couldn't catch him. And the next one was a counter lead. So had Brian Neal leading for us back there, and that's always good when Brian's leading on something.
Yeah.
So Damien liked that. But he both times he got in that secondary and showed him how fast he was. So
yeah, as quick as the run happened, I don't think everybody could really fathom or understand the patience. Though I mean, there was a little bit of patience there of that block. I mean, it might have been 1, 2, 3, and it was there, but kind of just the short steps that he made in between, and the blocks being where they needed to be at, and him being able to turn it on. I tell you what, that kid's like a Porsche. Hits top speed in like 0.2.
He does.
And people think that there's somebody that maybe could try to catch up to him. It's like he's top speed and he's not slowing down. I mean,
no, he didn't.
You definitely saw last night. If you didn't know in the Bullfrog Fieldhouse how much speed we had, you saw it last night between Demarion Pulte and Damian Moore. There was no doubt that Bullfrogs have some speed.
That's exactly right. Isaiah Hall did a great job of running the offense. From the quarterback position, we were running him a good bit last night, and so they were taking some shots on him too, and he got back up every time. Made some great reads because there were some routes that weren't there. We knew they have a tough cover, have a good secondary, and he turned the ball up and ran it, and that's always a good threat, when your quarterback can do that and still get you 5 yards instead of having to throw it out of bounds or something. So I thought Isaiah did a great job overall offensively. Everybody across the board, they played as a team. We moved the ball down the field. We scored on long runs. We did just a little bit of everything, passing, running, and I think it showed how balanced our attack is.
I think it did too. And also it showed that I think the ability of your offensive line, because Springtown on offense was throwing, the kitchen sink, the neighbor's kitchen sink, everybody at the defense, and then their defense was doing the same thing to our offense. They was throwing everything they could.
Yep.
They were switching. They were twisting. They were doing a couple of, multiple different looks for the offense, and I thought the offensive line did a great job. Only gave up a couple of lost yardage plays there, but other than that, I mean, it just looked phenomenal to me. I get a chance, wish I would have had some popcorn last night, but, it was just nice being able to see that work. And it's like, it's like in the orchestra, just moving. Coach Welch always, puts up his 5 fingers and says, which way the offense moves. And you saw last night them working like a true hand.
Yep, that's a great unit. They all played together last year. Just plugged a couple of new people in there, and most of those guys are juniors in there too. So we've got a lot of them back. And they're playing great. Anchored by Matthew Welch out there, plays center and left tackle. Got Jace Mueller in there, played center and right guard. We rotated, I think, of the 5 positions there, we rotated 7 guys in there last night, and so it's good to have a little bit of depth there too.
Oh yeah, when your center can, and I talked to him this morning on the way in. When I asked him, I said, "Well, how you feel this morning?" I said, "Are you banged up at all?" He goes, He goes, I'm just a little tired, really. I'm just
a
little more sleep, but we're feeling good." And I was like, "Well, you got your center saying that. Everybody's working, everybody's spreading the workload. So good stuff there." Hey, Coach, any closing words for you?
Looking forward to next week. The consolation prize is you get through one with a victory, and you come back on Saturday morning, you watch it on film, enjoy it, but then you start preparing for Decatur now. So,
oh yeah,
it didn't get any easier in this district. This is a tough district.
No, it does not get any easier. It is tough. Last night, Decatur walloped Gainesville 63-0.
I saw that.
So I know they're coming in with some steam. So we'll be prepared for it.
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to go ahead and finish this thing up here with Coach Welch stepping back up to the plate.
Hey, better swing, better.
Well, Coach, we get through last night, and now, last night is over. We're 6-0 in the season, 1-0 in district play, and 1-0 right now still doesn't say enough for us. We want, I know you want for the kids, look at this, week by week, step by step, day by day, and not get ahead of themselves. So let's go into a little bit, seeing a little bit of Decatur, what's out there on YouTube, and kind of looking at that, and you see the scores from last night. What's our thoughts going in this week?
Very same as going into last week with Springtown. They're going to be hard fought. They're a storied program. Coach Fielder is no longer there, but his first assistant, Ty Lang, took over, and I've got a lot of respect for Coach Lang. I actually watched his dad play college football with my brother at McMurray. I've known that family for many, many years. Good football family, good Christian family, and that's what I have a lot of respect for that family. And Coach Lang is doing a good job with those kids and the situation he's been put in over at Decatur. They're going to play hard. They're going to play aggressive. It's going to be much like last night. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be who can finish, who's going to hit the hardest, who's going to carry out the executions, line up right, and run the plays right, and make adjustments. So we've got 2 weeks in a row here. We've got our hands full with a good football team, a good coaching staff. So we're excited. Kids are excited. But again, like I told the kids last week going into the Springtown game, we're fighting for the playoffs. We have big goals, have lofty goals. We're fighting for the playoffs. We're 1-0 right now, but we're not in the playoffs. And the outcome of this week's game right here is not going to determine the outcome of the playoffs either. So we just got to go out here and keep getting ourselves better and have a good game plan, try to execute, and let the chips fall where they may.
That's right, Coach. Going out here, planning and execution has been the recipe for what you guys have done out here, from the planning of setting the culture in place. There's a lot of forethought that's went into how to approach that when you get other coaches here or new staff in, and how to get them to adjust the culture to continue to carry that through. And it seems like right now, as every culture, there's always somebody to, kids come in, they got to get used to the culture of what it is. Your freshmen coming in, trying to get used to what that is. And I got a chance to see yesterday Coach Stiffelmeyer out there with those freshman kids a little bit early and doing some extracurriculars out there, and get a chance to talk with those kids. But that culture you guys have here, you're seeing some fruits of the labor, and I don't mean that in like just victories. You're seeing troubled young boys, crazy young boys coming into high school that you're starting to see really start to shape out to be good young men.
We were in a staff meeting the other night. First of all, Joey, you said a couple of times there, your staff, and you threw out some coaches' names. We're blessed in Lake Worth to have the staff we have. I throw kudos every week to our administration. We've got a great high school administration led by Bobby Stoltz and his assistant principals. Our superintendent of schools, Dr. Neshba, is just a wonderful, wonderful leader. She has done a great job at Lake Worth, and the vision she's had and the changes she's had to make. Not everyone loves those changes, and sometimes changes are hard, but she's done a great job with that. Our school board has a vision, and they're supporting her, and it's just a great place to be. But let me tell you this, I'm blessed to have a great staff. God has helped us bring guys in here and put this thing together, and just so blessed to have a staff. these young men and these students at this school that are affected by these teachers and coaches, because that's what they have to do. They have to teach, they have to coach, and they have to be counselors, and they have to be guidance counselors, and they have to be psychologists, and they have to be daddies to all these kids. We are so blessed to have the coaching staff that we have. And it's not just on the field, not just on the court, it's not just in the weight room. It's an everyday way of life. Because for some of these kids, they are their dads. And we were in a staff meeting the other day, and Coach Nell, we were talking about some kids and so forth. And I asked them, I said, who's right now today in your position? I want you to think about who's the captain, who's here every day, who does not miss, who understands the difference between being excused and unexcused, who is getting their grades, who's going by the 5 code of the Bullfrogs that we've created, all the things we're into. Who is your captain? And we went position by position. And when we got done, Coach Nell made a comment about one young man. He said, you know what, he's not my position, but I'd like to throw kudos to this young man. And when he did, all the coaches kind of looked back and said, you know, that boy's came a million miles since we've had him as a freshman year. And, you know, so you see the changes. And a new guy coming in sees that. He might not know where that kid's been. And sometimes that really helps. You know, you have a new staff come in, you have new people come in. They don't know the kids, and they give those kids a second chance. So this last spring, that's what we tried to do in our recruiting. We walked the hallway and went through all the class roles and so forth. Forget names. Forget who they are. Give these kids a second chance. And, you know, right now our numbers are big. We started out 41 last night on varsity. That's the same as Springtown. Springtown has 41 on their roster. Our JV and freshmen right now have over 30 dressed out. So we've got over 100 kids in high school football at Lake Worth. And why? We're giving the kids a chance and able to succeed and have fun and play and all those type of things. So I'm just so blessed to be in Lake Worth and the atmosphere we've got. I think back to 4 years ago when I got here and asked you to do what you've been doing, and you've been a part of it the whole time. So just so blessed, Joy. It's a great place to be.
It is a great place to be. You know, I mentioned earlier with Coach Raines, I'll try not to get too tied up here. Last night was very emotional. I mentioned that to you before. It's emotional on a number of different levels for me personally, but for this district, for these kids. Losing my own mom back in 2019, it's difficult to be able to step in. An older brother can never still feel the love of mom.
Sure.
And I know you just lost yours, and it's tough. And to be able to come out here still and give all the love to these kids and lead them to a victory and still mold young men, come out here. I know what it's like. And so, Coach, last night was a big win. The W was not just on the scoreboard. The W was in this community. It was with each and every one of these kids, and they'll forever remember last night for so many more reasons than just football.
That's right.
And I thank you for that.
Yeah, praise God on that. And, you know, we have a sign that comes out of our locker room door, and the kids touching their way out. It says 48 minutes to play, a lifetime to remember. They're going to remember that game forever. So
that's right. Well, Coach, we got anything else to leave some closing words?
Joy, I just appreciate you, appreciate Lake Worth, the community, and where this place is going. And praise God, and let's keep going.
That's right. Hey, guys, next week we are on the road against the Decatur Eagles in Decatur, Texas, just up the road, a little 45-minute drive. Get off work, plan for it, be there, come out, support these kids. And
7 o'clock start.
7 o'clock start. 7 o'clock start.
All district games are 7 o'clock. Then people keep calling and asking, is it 7:30 or 7? All district games are 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock start in Decatur. You guys need to be there. I love it when you join the broadcast, but you can watch this back. Come show up to the game. Come out and support the kids. We want the same crowd we had here last night at the Decatur game. Come out and support the Bullfrogs. And as always, for Lake Worth ISD, Bullfrog Radio, Coach Welch and staff, I'm Joey Wilcoxon. Let's go Bullfrogs.